Wait, I'm not using. I'm probably won't actually open up any games on Steam for this entire stream. We'll see, but I have no reason to. At least with what I have planned. Okay, so I don't really. I haven't tried to pronounce this out loud yet. Apocaropcuna? Apocaropcuna. This story really touched me. Um, it is going to strike some chords with um people with religious trauma and trans people. So be warned. Contains depictions of transphobia, homophobia, religious extremism, and child abuse, along with brief, violent, and tyrannophobic imagery. Sorry, I said tyrannophobic. Gosh. Trichtophobia. So the fear of small holes and patterns. The thing I have. I mean, I also have religious trauma and have faced transphobia and homophobia. So really, like, these trigger warnings are for me specifically, obviously. There's something wrong with you. You've been sent away to a private boarding school so they can fix you. If that weren't bad enough, they took away your entire collection of Apocalyptia cards. If you want to rebuild your collection, you'll have to be careful. If they catch you again, the punishment will be much worse. After all, the nuns think this game is evil, that playing with these cards can summon discordia, and, you know, the mother of all demons. But that's not true. It's just a game, right? So we're gonna have a time. I tell you what. I tell you what, Bobby. So thank you for having a time with me. Spooky. I love the haunted PlayStation Ets community. This is a horror game, and it contains depictions of transphobia, homophobia, religious extremism, and child abuse, along with trichtophobic imagery. I'm gonna tell the truth. Even though there are people who have said, and I haven't looked into it myself, but there are people who say that there's like evidence that getting trigger warnings doesn't actually like help. And I guess I am a outlier based on that perspective, but like I can definitely attest to content slash trigger warnings helping me know if I can handle a thing in the moment, if I want to like put it down for a while. A lot of times I'm gonna say a lot of times I don't. A lot of times I'm like, oh shit, it has this thing. I'm glad I know going in, because like being like essentially jump scared with something that traumatizes you can be really spoon breaky. And like I don't even want to accuse people who don't have a lot of use and trigger warnings, even if they were useful in the way that that they're being argued against. Because I've seen people who also like have lots of things that trigger warnings would or should or I think help with or for, and even some people on that side of things are like, oh, trigger warnings don't help. I and I think that people arguing that like it's also just like not worth it because of like spoilers and stuff is just a little unempathetic at the very least. I'll put it like that. I say all this because this is the first game or the first piece of media I have run into that the tryptophobia has been a thingy for. I haven't even done that much research on tryptophobia, because if I do, then tryptophobic imagery comes up, because it's like, well, it's this thing, so let's show this. If you're an arachnophobe, if you look at the fucking Wikipedia for arachnophobia, it'll show you spiders. It'll show you fucking spiders. And it's just so irritating. Like, I will have to disable, like, displaying of images on that specific webpage if I wanted to do it. And that's the reason I haven't. So I don't even know what research says about tryptophobia or what it could be connected to, you know? But like, it was nice to see this, and I was like, oh shit, I'm ready for it, I'm ready for it, I'm ready for it. And then when I saw the thing that it was like warning about, or I guess the two things that were warning about, it was okay, because I knew what to expect, and it wasn't as bad as like other tryptophobic imagery and stuff that definitely doesn't warn me. And that I love still. Like, I'll reiterate, trigger warnings have not stopped me from playing some of my favorite games, because like if they did, I would not play a lot of games, especially as a horror fan. And trigger warnings aren't just things that will hurt me because I have my trauma. Tryptophobia is like, tryptophobia, or even like what's something that's, I think, akin to this in this line of reasoning, like, oh, like an epilepsy warning, like an epilepsy warning. An epilepsy warning is a form of content or trigger warning, and to say that it's not useful to know that something might like hurt you, that you might lose control of your body, is ridiculous. But I want to have compassion and empathy for even people who, like, it might not derail your whole day, but it'll definitely take a hit to your spoons. Like, I just love this game takes its first step forward with empathy. I don't think I've talked about fucking content warnings for so long at a time in a while. Apocryphauna. Hana? Apocryphauna. A game by Valerie Dusk and Claire Nkellerian. 2022, all rights reserved. Alright, I never posted that I was streaming on co-host. I wanted to remember, because co-host is homie. And definitely don't want to close the window once the game starts. Unfortunately, I can't schedule co-host posts, but I can write them out beforehand and save them as drafts, so I don't even have to write it. Whereas with Twitter, I like can just schedule a tweet to go out. And there we go. I might have apiptophobia, a fear of bugs that sting. I've never heard of that phobia in particular, but I would imagine it's something that a lot of people have. I've been bitten by bugs. I don't know if I've ever been stung. Definitely not by a bee or a wasp. So I don't know if I'm allergic or anything, but also like recognize that like how running from a dog will make it chase you, like swatting at a bug that stings might make them scared for their life, and like they might retaliate. So I just try to like not swat if I can, or at the very least like not panic and flail, even if I am like intimidated, which I often am. I've had a lot more empathy for bugs, especially lately with the lanternfly epidemic, than I have ever had in my life. Not gonna lie. Trigger warnings definitely helps us in the moment and helps us stay away from some things. Sim Mao Su has something called a bloodline ability that lets him see through the eyes of monsters and animals and vice versa. Ooh, that's very interesting. That's like warging, or like there's like green mage seeing in a lot of fantasy stuff that basically allows you to do the same thing or even turn into an animal sometimes. I think it's weird that some people don't have empathy for animals when like we're animals. I don't just mean like I'm a furry or you know anything like that necessarily, but just like humans are animals too. Though obviously because of society and how humans have propped themselves up as like separate from nature, it's technically not surprising. Hello there. Glad to meet you. Welcome to Milkultia. Hello there. Glad to meet you. Welcome to Milkultia Academic Monastery. My name is Sister Constantina. People affectionately refer to me as the Fun Nun. This school is inhabited far and wide by students like yourself. Some students are drawn here because of the high quality of education we offer. Others have come because they had struggles at their previous school and needed some additional attention. As for myself, don't you worry about why I'm here. But first, tell me a little about yourself. Now tell me, are you a boy or are you a girl? Neither? Yes, this was what I was afraid of. I've heard you had struggles with this at your previous school. That along with playing some sort of one-forsaken demonic card game. This nonsense stops now. You are a girl. Part of your education here at IAM will be breaking you of this delusion. I'll be praying for you. So one thing I want to point out immediately, because I played this whole game before, to be sure that it will be safe to stream, and just because it was my off day and I wanted to like enjoy a game that I was interested in and not feel the need to perform it. What your gender assigned at birth in the game is, I now know is random. Because the 2 times I started this game before, I was told that I am a boy. So it is really cool that this is a story that highlights more than one perspective on gender. Obviously, I didn't say that I was a boy or a girl. I said neither, and I said neither with my previous Austrian playthrough as well. But like, it was really fascinating because when I first played, I was like, oh, okay. So when I first found this game, the first character models I saw were of girls. So I thought the character was sent to like a religious all-girls school. So I think rightfully assumed, oh, then this is a story about a trans-masculine person. And then I played it and it was like, you are a boy. And it was like, okay, this is about a trans-feminine person. And like the proliferation of like trans visibility has very obviously been like very much attention on trans films, because well, one side of things is seen as a lot more dangerous by transphobes than the other, because trans masc and trans men tend to get like infantilized and like they're seen as like broken women or whatever, or people who are trying to escape patriarchy, whereas trans women and trans femme folks are tend to be seen as like more sacrilegious, more dangerous, and because being seen as men by transphobes are being seen as like, you know, having some agenda and being like perverts and like abusers or whatever. At least that's how that's how folks have been categorizing trans feminine folks. And like, Separate from that, if you're looking for trans art, um, stuff that explores the trans experience, you'll have a lot easier time finding trans femme stories or non-binary leaning trans femme stories, or in somehow informed by trans femme culture, than you will find trans mass stories. Trans mass stories definitely do exist, but like whenever I notice something leaning more in the less visible direction, I always have my interest peaked a little bit more. So I was a little bit disappointed when my original assumption was not verified when I first started. But because of the experience I come from, I did feel comfortable in this presentation of like a gender journey and like pushing up against persecution. But now, knowing that it's random, I feel so good because it satisfies both. And just like in life, you don't get to choose like the gender you were assigned at birth. And like I feel like that weirdly synergizes, you know? And as you'll see in the gameplay, like whichever is your A gap really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things to a certain degree. It basically flips how certain objectives are gonna be like done, but generally it'll have effect on how some people will talk to you at first, but actually I won't say much. I'll let you see. I went to a school to teach transphobia. I wanted schools to teach transphobia to die in a fire. Same for the ones to teach homophobia. Mood. Hey, you're the new kid, right? I heard you get kicked out of your last school for collecting Apocryphauna cards. And they took all your collection from you. My condolences, homie. Just so you know, if you're looking to start collecting again, keep that shit top secret. However forbidden it was at your last school, guaranteed it's like 10 times more forbidden at I am. I am faithful. I am chaste. I am prudent. I am a crusader. I heard from my big bro that if you want to play a Apocryphauna, you need to have something called a trick stack. No idea what that means though. I Am Advanced Theater presents the original one that played based on the classic Liburnia story, The Death of Discord. So this has like imagery similar to Paradise Lost, which is the story of like Lucifer's fall from grace, but actually is showing Discord, who I guess is this universe's version of the devil, or this religion's version of the devil, because well, Lucifer's not a girl, at least not usually or classically, but a bit of the lore for this game, Discord is actually a reference to Lilith, as opposed to just being an inverted version of the regular Christian devil. Lilith was Adam's first wife, who was not made from his rib, because she was made first, actually. And I forgot exactly why God was like, no, like, get the fuck out. But she ended up, like, I mean, I guess she's not technically in the Christian Bible. I think she's in, like, the Jewish Bible. It's definitely, like, in the realm of biblical, like, academia to talk about in the first place. But some amount of, like, seeing women as, like, temptresses and demons, especially ones that are more sexually free, comes from like the persecution, or like the concept of a not good wife in like Lilith. She wasn't subservient to Adam. Okay, which is it's just like she just wasn't for that life. It was like, no, I don't bend that way. Select on the underside of this table by a piece of chewing gum. You find a Apocryphauna card. That's two contraband substances stuck together. After you scrape off the gum, the card's still in surprisingly good shape. Bread that looks like God. Uncanny Panem Deuce. When you summon bread that looks like God, flip a coin. If you win, you achieve sainthood. Otherwise, you'll be excommunicated. Honestly, I want to play this game. It seems really interesting. It reminds me of Munchkin. Oh gosh, the way the light's hitting me through yonder window breaks. Gosh, I do love our lighting thingy. I heard Sister Augustina is going to search my locker today. I have an Apocryphauna card in there. I don't have time to go to my locker right now. Could you go get the card out of there? You can even keep the card if you want. I just don't want to get in trouble. It's the one with the flower on it. Here's a combination. Thank you. Card games were created by Discordia to tempt the unfaithful. Card games were created by Discordia to tempt the faithful. Slip of the tongue. Saint Maurice. Oof. Saint Emerga. These almost look like tarot cards. Saint Perfero. Saint who now? I don't know what saint that is, and what its angel is holding almost looks like the Time Melter. Uncanny Ignis Tempest. Whether memory, pain, beauty, or yearning, everything fades as long as it's burning. And it's always burning. Read the Liburnius? That's their Bible. Oh, so that's who Lilith is. The religious person. In the game version of The Binding of Isaac, never heard of her before Isaac, since I only grew up with the King James version of the Bible. Makes sense. I didn't, like, understand, like, the concept of Lilith until, like, physical adulthood, I guess? Because I had heard people invoke her, but, like, I didn't know what that was about. And then, of course, Evangelion happened, and I was like, huh. Adam and Lilith, huh? What happened to Adam and Eve? It was Adam and Lilith, not Adam and Eve. It was Lilith and Adam, not Adam and Eve. Gosh. Now I'm thinking of, like, 50 Shades of Grey, where Adam is Mr. Grey, and Eve is, like, the main character of 50 Shades of Grey. And then Lilith is his mom. Which is already, like, really fucked up. If you don't know about 50 Shades of Grey and how fucked up it is, the, like, love interest, I forgot his first name, whatever Grey, literally is like, I am a dom because I was abused by my mom, and she had me subordinate to her. So in order to reclaim power, I am now a dom in all of my relationships. So he sees being a sub as being weak, and being the only way to be powerful is to actually dominate someone else, which is major red flags, like major red flags. Like, homie, honestly. And I usually don't tell people this, because I know that everyone's financial circumstances are different, but his ass is rich. He should be going to therapy. Like, honestly though. Not to say that, like, having deep-seated trauma that affects, like, how you can express sexuality is something that's, like, your fault, necessarily, but holding, like, fucked up beliefs like that is how you abuse people. Which he does, and it's romanticized. Not to say it shouldn't exist, because it's fiction, and, like, people definitely find that hot. Although 50 Shades of Grey appeals to normies more than I would say, like, more well-versed kinksters. being calling yourself a kinkster and saying that like your favorite thing or the best piece of kink fiction is 50 Shades of Grey is like watching just just watching Attack on Titan and being like, this is the best anime ever. You're entitled to your opinion, of course, and like everything is relative, but like if you widen your horizons, you might see a whole forest of beautiful flowers. Wonder if the card game is meant to be a reference to Satanic Panic. Oh, definitely so. Magic the Gathering cards seem very cogent, but I think that particularly with the setting and like the nostalgia that it hits on for me, I'm thinking maybe Yu-Gi-Oh! I knew people who could not play Yu-Gi-Oh! Literally because their parents were like, it's demonic. My parents were Christian, but they were those people who don't really worship, and they're just comfortable saying that they're religious even though they're not, and they don't like live by it or anything. And they only sent me to church when I was younger to give me like a foundation or whatever, because it seemed bad to not do that, because that's like the assumption that if you're raised by religious people, that if you have kids, you'll raise them in religion even if you don't really care. But it's a lot of people like that who use religion as a validation for their own prejudices and stuff. To be honest, when I die, I want my body to be thrown at either Elon or Trump. I want to be thrown at either Elon or Trump to ruin their day. I don't know what happens to it after, as long as one of their days are ruined. Gosh, braver than the troops with that one. Lilith is also known as the first succubus. Oh yeah, I love that for her. Saying you're into hardcore kink stuff and saying 50 Shades of Grey is the best thing is like saying the best thing in a sandwich shop is a bag of chips you can get as a side. And so, it was that the people, having rejected the message of the one God, decreed that he be killed by crucifixion. But when they endeavored to enforce the punishment, the one God, being a master of all known forms of martial arts, tore all of those who opposed him with his bare hands and also some roundhouse kicks? Was this written by Andrew Tate? The fuck? Then, with a single chop, the one God then broke the cross into pieces and used the pieces to build a new symbol, which the people of that time used as a symbol for number one, so the people across all times will also remember that the one God was number one. The Gospel of Josh. God damn. God damn. My voice started getting lower this semester. Soon I won't be able to sing the soprano part anymore. What's this? I wonder what they make these candles out of. They smell really good. Students must remain quiet in the chapel. Saint Incrodius. Oh gosh, he's being I forgot what they call that. It's like you pull something. Drawn and quartered, I believe. Damn. If you're gonna be burned at the stake, I mean, do it in style. Who's the Saint Cocta? Here's another book. In the beginning, there were many, many worlds, many gods, and it was chaos. There was light and dark, and neither and both, good and evil, neither and both, men and women, and neither and both. The greatest of gods, the one God, said, "Let there be one." And there was one. One world, one God, one right. And even though the many no longer existed, they persisted, not in the light, but in the shadows. Not in the canon, but in the Apocryphauna, the Book of Terminus. Wow. The books in here, the chapters in here I've actually never read. I love how it's like, there was like all these different forms of being, but then someone just was like, no, only one. Card games were created by Discordia to tempt the faithful. Okay, nothing else to say here. I wish we had something fun here, like TV or at least some magazines. Whenever I tell one of the sisters on board, they just tell me to memorize passages from the Liburnius. What's this? Carasite. Enigmatic Modus. Carasite gets +1 to all attributes as long as you are snuggling an officially licensed castrite plushie. A vision. A human who wants to play. I warn you, the more you gather, the more you will see me, the more you will be seen. And once you begin, it's very hard to stop. One god, two setses. Remaining your assigned dorm or face the consequences. And on the last day, a game will be played to decide the fate of the world. 13 cards shuffled and placed at the stack under an open sky. A circle will be drawn in chalk. A door to chaos. And Discordia, queen of demons, shall return to the world. In shadow and flesh. In fire and love. All shall end. And all shall begin. The end of Apocryphauna. If you have enough time to talk to me, you have enough time to do something useful. Go talk to Sister Constantina on the 2nd floor. She always has ways of putting idle children to work. Oh yeah, such great books. Oh yeah, totally. A shape of colors. Enigmatic, chromatic, ominous. I don't know how to describe it, but I don't think it wanted to hurt me. I don't know how to describe it, but I don't think it wanted to hurt me. I don't think it wanted anything at all. So that's one of the things that is trichtophobic inducing. Football trials. Come worship the one god on the gridiron. Westfield, August 28th. Oh, that's in a couple of days. Oh, that's like next week. Ah, $10 fee. Wait, they put the football trials poster in the girls' dorm? I would think they wouldn't even let the girls play football. The quote-unquote girls. And so it was that the prophet came to a clearing in the wood. In the center of the clearing was a fire, and dancing all around it were naked people howling into the night, their bodies pierced and painted in ways he had never seen. As the fire danced across their bodies, he saw them change. Men becoming women, women becoming men, both becoming neither, humans becoming beasts, and all around them, carved into the trees, was the mark of Discordia. The Axe of Onan. Damn, that sounds based. That's what furry cons are like, right? Hey, you're the new kid who collects Apocryphauna cards, right? I can't afford any of the real cards, so I'll make my own instead. I can make one for you if you want. But first, I have to make sure you're serious. I don't want to waste my time making a true one-of-a-kind masterpiece for some filthy casual. How many cards do you have so far? Pfft, 4? Come back and see me when you have a real collection. I don't know exactly how many cards I need, but even if I have enough to finish the game, that's not enough. So I'm gonna try to get them all this time. Hydrate? You got it! Bill Cipher with bottom surgery! Everyone becomes a furry. On a long enough timeline. During the Satanic Panic, 2 daycare owners were arrested with charges of abuse, and they did nothing bad to the kids. Either it was sicko woman who said they were killing the kids and bringing them back to life over and over, and they recently got out and sued. Oh, and they recently got out and sued the shit out of the justice system and won money in the 7 figures. Good. Ugh. Though obviously it doesn't really compensate for them for their suffering. I mean, like, yay, like they'll be okay capitalism wise, but like the trauma of that, going to jail for something you didn't do, or having charges thrown at you for something that like was harmless, or even self-defense sometimes really sucks. Ooh, excuse me. Why are you looking at my bunk that way? There's nothing in there, I promise. What's this? Hidden beneath the mattress is a surprisingly large collection of hand-drawn furry pornography on lined paper. It's pretty good, actually. No, no one was supposed to see that. I mean, that's not mine. How did I get there? Please don't tell. I can't get in trouble over this again. How about this? If you don't tell anyone, I'll give you one of those, Apocryphauna cards you like. Knife Blood Fury. Of course, this card, that looks very much something that, sapphic-minded people might like, is the card that she has. Uncanny Carnus Ignis. When Knife Blood Fury attacks, deal X damage to any target, where X is the number of how many scars you have. It reminds me of Munchkin, or Boss Monster in that way. I think it was Munchkin, that has like certain cards have certain rules depending on like arbitrary things that could apply differently to who you are. Or no, something unicorns. They took all the mirrors out of the dorms because one of the kids in the boys' dorm was caught trying to summon Discordia. Don't know why that's our problem. I don't know, maybe they were rolling in the deep, Adele. How many cards do I have? 5 now. Hey, just so you know, I heard about why you got in trouble at your last school. Not just your card collection, but the other stuff. There's another kid like that here a while ago, a friend of mine. Except the opposite. He was a boy who wanted to be a girl. Or I guess you could say, she? Yeah, she was a boy who wanted to be a girl. That's better. But yeah, she also got in trouble. Wonder what happened to her. The one guy sees you everywhere, even the stairwell. Wow, you found an old card? You still want it? After all, it's covered in gum and everything. I guess it's yours. Oh, that was the person's card that was stuck under the table. In Mactulia, Academic Monastery. Go Crusaders! Immaculate Academic Monastery. Oh, IAM, that's what it stands for. Second Coming Dance. Like the second coming of Jesus. One night to remember. October 1st, 6 to 9 at the Martyrs Stadium. Catholic music, food, the end of the world. No outside food or drink. No non-student guests permitted. Tickets are non-refundable. In the event that the world fails to end. God. This whole game is a call-out post. Read the Liburnius. My big sister Markinia told me there's a loose discolored brick in the wall somewhere in this room where she used to stash some stuff. I never checked it out though. It's not worth getting in trouble over. I wish the school didn't have uniforms. I don't like wearing skirts. I used to have one of those Apocryphauna cards, but I threw it away in the girls' bathroom trash. It started whispering to me. You didn't like when the card whispered to you? Weird. Discolored brick. What's this? You find drugs. And a Apocryphauna card. You throw away the drugs. A normal boy! Humana Masculus Felix. Why is this here? This isn't even a monster. This is just a normal boy. We're so lucky to have such a nice, happy son. You're really dedicated to this, aren't you? Even after what happened last time? I want to tell you that everything will be okay. But we both know the truth. There is no place here for you or... This is only going to end one way. You found my sister's old hiding place? Was there anything good in there? As we know, in ages past, the one God gave his followers one commandment. Thou shalt have no God before me. But what does that mean? Once there were many gods, gods of pleasure, gods of fiction, gods of fear. Even today, that many in the shadows still exist. To think of them is to worship them, and to worship them is to give them power. We shun the many, the myriad monsters who call Discordia their mothering queen, and we serve the one. What's this? A blank chalkboard I could draw whatever I want. Infinite possibilities. Maybe later. Read the Liburnius? And as the one God spoke to the followers, his words became stone, a stone tablet on which was written his one commandment. I am the one God, and I am thy Lord. Thou shalt have no God before me. The people were astonished. Is that really all, Lord? They asked. Thou hast no other commandments? What about rape? But the one God was silent. He had spoken all he had intended to speak. The Book of Antiquities. God. This isn't the first time she's been caught with furry porn? Question mark. Oh, this must be Trice's locker. Yeah, she would have gotten her ass beat for this one. The Uncanny Arbor Mortem. When you begin the Mourn Trees ritual, tear up any number of cards in your spellbook, party, or cemetery. Reduce the cast time by 1 for each. Oh, so the hourglass thing is the number of turns that it needs to pass to be able to summon that card. That's an interesting system. A girl! Hi. Sorry, I have to go. Dad says I'm not allowed to talk to boys, which sucks, because I really wish I had a boyfriend. If I had my choice, I'd pick Lewis. He's a real cute patootie. Does anyone actually know how to play Apocryphauna? I can't figure out any of the rules. Me and Bartello made a pact to each other to get a girlfriend in time for the Second Coming dance, but to be honest, I don't really like dances, and I don't think I want a girlfriend. Is there something wrong with me? Remember the one commandment, I shall have no gods before me. I like your hair. Do you put something in it, or does it always look like that? Every act is an act of worship. Time is finite. You are finite. Whenever you do something, you're not doing everything else. When you eat, when you sleep, when you laugh or kiss, when you help someone or worry about someone in need, you're turning your gaze earthward. You're not worshiping the one God. And to not worship the one God is a sin, a violation of the one commandment. Remember, children of the one, that all your worldly concerns are false idols, demons of the flesh, deceptions of the many. Every act is an act of worship. So you must worship the one God with every action. A letter from the prophet to Sodom. I like that reference to Sodom. Or referencing sodomy, rather. Which, although if you grew up religious, you were probably told that sodomy is literally butt sets. Sodomy is actually any like non-vanilla sets. Anything other than missionary is sodomy, technically. Oh shit, it's Butch Cypher again. I want to learn more about religion since like growing up in a cult and like wanting to learn more since I hate that control, i.e. mainstream Christianity. Fuck the controlling phobic stuff. Mood. I have a feeling all these kids are gonna grow up either fucked up or as furries. Why not both? Also, I want to learn why the Old Testament guy is different from the New Testament guy. I mean, as far as I understand, the Old Testament guy is like more fire and brimstone, and it's like they soften God up in the New Testament because like the Old Testament God is kind of where the whole like God-fearing Christian thing comes from, because like and some people really like the Old Testament God because it's like, okay, gosh, it's, to put it the most culture war way possible, New Testament God is woke. Because Old Testament God is like real, you know, like, you know, turning people into pillars of salt and shit. Like some of the worst things, or like some of the most like fucked up actions of God in as depicted in the Bible happen in the Old Testament as opposed to the New Testament, as far as I understand it. So being interesting is sodomy. Got it. Gosh, it's sort of funny to think that humping your wet diaper against your partners is like sodomy. Weird. Let's sodomize each other's diapers in Minecraft. And how is our new transfer student holding up? Hope you're getting along well with your classmates so far. Say, I'm in a bit of a pickle. Would you be a dear and do me a favor? Good. Here's the situation. Severencine volunteered to be the ball girl at recess today, but wouldn't you know it, recess ended, and that spacey girl just went back to class, leaving the ball strewn hither and yen. She, if you'll pardon the pun, dropped the ball. I'm very proud of that one. Sister Augustus says that wordplay is a stepping stone towards witchcraft, but I allow myself the occasional indulgence. Regardless, we still need a ball girl, and you're just the girl for the job. Could you run up to the rooftop? That's where the playground is. By the way, that's where the playground is. And gather up all the loose balls you find. Should be 5 of them, I think. You got the roof key. And fear not, Sebastian is indeed being punished for her carelessness. Severely. I wonder who that character is. I wonder if I've met her yet. Or them. There are definitely other trans kids in this goddamn school. Gaze into the mirror? Most people see themselves when they look in the mirror. When you look, you see nothing. Well? Ah! There we go. Monstrous Carnus Biolum. Monstrous Carnius Biolum. Roger. This is Roger. He's had a hard life. No one likes Roger. Not even you. Soon you'll probably throw him away. Okay, there's no trash can in here. I just want to double check. There's still know where they are, but I know how to get access to the minimum amount. Sometimes I don't know why I do the things I do. Use the roof key. Oh, not even a loading screen. What's this? The Loomy Bird. Enigmatic Mortem Avis. When you draw the Loomy Bird, get your affairs in order. This is not a good omen. In the past, I bestowed my followers with great power. I am not what I was. But I still might be able to do this. If you can locate a mirror, I will give you a gift. Oh, I know just where the one mirror in school is. Ball. It's a watermelon that has the word sport painted on it? You got a ball? This is a shitty playground. And being on a roof is just a testament to them not wanting you to go outside. Or rather, off. It's basketball. Cool. Damn, there were words. There were words and I missed them. Guess that happens. Third floor. Second. They told me you were a troublemaker, a lost cause. But look at you now. What a fine getter of balls you're turning out to be. Personally, I never doubted you for a second. I can tell you're a good kid. Just need a little structure. Now, do us a favor and run down to the equipment locker in the basement. I'll have you know that most students never get a chance to see the basement. Only the very best students. And of course, the very worst. On that note, if you happen to see any students down there in the detention cage, please refrain from speaking to them. Solitude is an important element of their punishment. You'll need this. What's the stain on it? Just making sure. Actually, I think the only bathroom is here. Gaze into the mirror. In tarot, when a card is drawn reverse, it's often seen as an omen of doom. The typical meaning of the card is upended, perverted. I wish I could make them see the truth. The card isn't the problem, it's just their perspective, their expectations. Every once in a while, the card comes out reversed. That's just how randomness works. Chaos! It makes you think. Is there anything really wrong with you? Or is it just the way that people are looking at you? You have been inverted. They cannot see you as you are, for they cannot conceive of it. But at least for now, they'll see something different. If you wish to return to your former appearance, return to the mirror again. This is why I said... This is why mechanically I said your AGAB doesn't matter. I mean, realistically, your AGAB doesn't matter in the sense of your gender is like... You have autonomy over your gender. How other people see you isn't like... It definitely affects you. I won't say it doesn't. And we live in a society, and we're like, you know, social beings, social critters. But like, your gender is your own. No one else's. But like, you can just cross a mirror and just look different. That would be nice. I like the fluidity of that. Our character's a vampire confirmed. Gosh. To be honest, my adaptive mom would either laugh in my face or gaslight me anytime I tried to come out as trans. I'm happy I'm out of her control now. Gosh, I honestly understand your feelings about that. I didn't have that exact experience. Actually, unfortunately, I was the non-supportive voice in someone else's life growing up that tried to come out to me or tried to like understand if coming out to me was safe. And for the longest time, I was not safe to come out to because I just couldn't conceive of the concept because they kept trying to like introduce the concept of like, what if I was this gender? And I was just like, but why though? And it was usually around someone else too, and I just kind of took their lead with being like, that's weird. And later, that was the first person that actually came out as trans too. And then they told me that like I had treated them that way, and I felt really bad. That didn't end our friendship or anything, but like it did stick in my craw about how like I had internalized transphobia in the way that I did, especially when I didn't have the vocabulary for it. And like peers can be really bad for like your self-actualization in the sense of like them pushing back or not understanding or learning hate, but like people with like dominance over your life, parents, teachers, and stuff like that, not being supportive is like really damning because like institutionally and day to day, if no one will accept your identity, then like that's a problem. Like I was just saying, like, oh, your gender is yours and no one else's. Like it's still shitty because a lot of people see it as up for debate, and although like I don't see another person's gender as up for debate, right? There's also this sense that like the reason the social transition is important because being seen as your gender or having your gender recognized is important in self-actualizing. You're still valid even if you're closeted, but like there's a reason why queer people very much value pride because it's been taken away from us so much. What's this? Fish sticks. Oh, like fish the river sticks. Monstrous Mortem Pisces. Fish sticks' potency and vitality are equal to the number of pet fish you have had that have died throughout your life. Oof. I'm sorry you had to face such abuse. I'm glad you're out of that person's control now. Doesn't sound like a good parent at all. Okay, nothing in the boys' trash. Discord lives. Discordia lives, sorry. Was having a My Little Pony moment for a second. Discord, and I'm howling at the moon? Not all of us make it. This one used to be a friend of mine. Try your best to forget this place. Nothing good comes from remembering. That wasn't weird at all. What? Zelly likes me? No way, man. I think she's so great, but I can't say 2 words to her without getting all sweaty. She says I'm a kitty patootie. Like as a joke? You have to check with her to make sure it wasn't a joke. This is a side quest. I didn't realize this game had a side quest in it. This is so interesting. People will look, because people see like solidarity with you and think that you're not like because you're not otherized to certain people from having their same sets or whatever, they'll tell you stuff that they wouldn't tell you otherwise. So when you start with everyone seeing you as a boy, like, the conversations are different. Dad says I'm not allowed to talk to boys. You know how they are. So I actually have to switch back. I have to switch my body back across the inversion to finish that side quest. But before I do that, I go to the boys' dorm now. There's bound to be some cards here. What's this? You spot an Apocryphauna card that's been impaled on a pencil. You pull the card free and grimace at the idea that someone would deface a valuable trading card like this. You pull the card free, but then the hole starts to shrink. The card is stitching itself together before your eyes. The card is now totally free of any damage, returning to near mint quality. Enigmatic Duos Autonomy. Why do they make these things? What do they make these things out of anyway? Card games are chaos domesticated. Infinite possibility within finite dimensions. Pandemonium bound by a magic circle. These zealots have no capacity to understand chaos. Their world is one of binary. Good and evil, light and dark, man and woman. Everything that's unexpected is chained or destroyed. Why can't they see the beauty in a sudden rainstorm, the dance of a forest fire, the cracks in a window pane? I tried watching the Apocryphauna cartoon one time, and it didn't make any sense. All that everyone that show ever talks about is Apocryphauna. It's like, don't you have lives outside of that? Man, I'm jonesing for some tacos. If you could get me some from the cafeteria, I'll give you one of those weird monster cards. You collect those things, right? Side quest. But among all the many, the most hated of all was Discordia, for the one God loves all that is him, and hates all that is not. And Discordia is all that the one God is not. She is chaos, and darkness, and flesh, and self. She is night, and fluidity, and tolerance, and emotion. She is woman, and yet she is not. For she is also the worst thing that any can be. She is all. The Song of Discord. And people said being a Discord mod made you a loser. Ha! Joke's on you, anti-moralists. Or anti/moralists. If I had typed that out, it would make more sense. You grab some tacos. Better hurry upstairs while they're still warm. Ah, the smell of tacos. You're the man! I mean, you know what I mean. Thanks, new kid. Here you go. The prisoner. Uncanny Carnus. Thanks, dipshit. You let the prisoner out. His potence is equivalent to all the relatives of yours currently in prison. If you yourself are currently in prison, what are you doing playing this game? You should be learning prison rules, poker or something. Is it done? A tricks deck has been completed. If you can find a rule book and follow the instructions within, the game shall begin. Firstly, you'll need to find another one of my followers. Someone else like you. Man, tacos are the best. I wish every day was taco day. I like how people recognize your gender. Because even though I inverted myself across binary. but I'm non-binary, like in the game, like I chose non-binary. And although the context of what he said to me is about the same, and when my starting point was a boy, or being seen as boy rather, it was funny that I got a similar reaction. I wonder if it changes depending on what you say your gender is, and how that's incongruent with whatever they tell you. Alright, I need to flip again, but I'll go to the basement first. I hear the sister Andrea hides drugs inside her Unifix. Basement? This must be an equipment locker. Tuck the balls away nice and snug where no one can see them. Balls. If you don't know that's not just a random sex joke, it's a joke about tucking. Which I guess technically is like binding for trans films, sort of. What's this? You find a drawer that's packed full of confiscated contraband. A slingshot, a yo-yo, cigarettes, more cigarettes, brass knuckles, a cell phone, and an Apocryphauna card! I've never gotten this one before. Enigmatic Automata. When you summon Jophiel, you may tell her a secret. If you do, you'll forget the secret, and she'll carry it forever. Aww. Thank you, Jophiel. We now have enough to play. But you can continue to gather cards if you wish. There's certainly joy to be had in collection for its own sake. I see. You're like me. They say you're one thing, but you know you're something else. I started collecting because these cards just look so cool. I didn't know how to play, but I like looking at the art. I'd make up stories about them. They feel like creatures from a time before. Or maybe they're from the future. All I know is that here and now, these creatures are all things they hate. Things that don't belong. Also because I thought if I got enough cards, Discordia would turn me into a girl. The nuns told me that part wasn't real. Nothing can change what I am. They also said if Discordia is ever set free, it'll be the end of the world. That's fine by me. This world deserves to burn. You should probably stop collecting these cards. But if your mind is really set on it, you can have my old rulebook. It's in the boys' dorm. My bunk is on the one on the top left when you enter the dorm. And be careful. I wouldn't want you to end up like me. Then again, if they catch you, at least I have some company. That's really depressing. So I need to go to the dorm and then I can switch. It's in the boys' dorm. To the left? This is the bunk that kid down in the basement. Let's see if the rulebook is still here under the mattress. Huh? Well, you know. You got the Apocryphauna rulebook. How to play Apocryphauna. What you need. A tricks deck, at least 13 cards. Chalk, candles. Setup. Draw the symbol in the chalk under the sky, light some candles, shuffle. Seems easy enough. I really like the nature of Discovery. This is like a hidden object game, basically. Paying attention to the pixels and everything. Ah, new transfer student. Oh no. I'm sorry. You're someone else. My apologies. Right. I think it's funny because, like, oh, you've been inverted, but people can still recognize you as you, but it's just like, wait, this person's obviously a different gender, so there's no way it's the same person. My belief is very religious God. Oh, my belief is that every religious guy, gods and goddesses are real somewhere, and same goes for their paradise and hells. So these people are torturing kids no matter. So these people are torturing kids. No wonder the nuns don't want them leaving the school grounds. True, the world deserves to burn. Honestly, I don't think the world deserves to burn. I think the rotten institutions do. I don't think that everything should. I don't think everyone should suffer for the sake of that. Like people who are like anarcho-primitivists or accelerationists who want like things to get worse and worse and worse till like the burden of all the stuff makes capitalism collapse, or people who want like a return to primitivism and like want to destroy technology, especially folks who think of themselves as Luddites, even though Ludditism was born from not anti-technology but anti-technology like replacing and taking jobs. Luddites would hate AI art is what I'm saying. Or even people who are like, oh, humans are the real virus. It's like, no. Like, even though, like, as an American, I've been, like, taught to see, like, my story is more valid and America is, like, more important than other countries, for example, like, I can't take real ownership of, like, the things that America has done, because I wouldn't have done them and I would have had no control over them happening. Like, there's like a concept of nationalism that a lot of people have internalized where it's like, oh, we invaded Vietnam. And it was like, well, first, I wasn't alive, but second, like, no, the American government ordered the military to invade Vietnam. Like, the average person was against the Vietnam War. And that's the weird thing about politics and like power structures. Even if most people don't want a thing to happen, the government will still do the thing, even if it's supposed to be a representative democracy. It's kind of funny how that works. Shows that we don't actually have the power that some people think that we do as citizens of whatever country we reside in. So, like, again, I don't think the world deserves to burn. I just think certain people and power structures I wouldn't mind burning. You know? Because there's a lot of good people in this world, or I don't like to conceptualize people in the black and white notions of good or evil, but there's a lot of people who aren't doing harm or would not do harm if not for structures forcing the hand of people to be put in a position where it's like either destitution or like contributing to exploitation, you know? Hello, Kisa the cat. Hope you're having a good night. We are summoning demons tonight at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Summon Discordia. What do you want, boy? Yeah, it is also this interaction and a few other interactions, like the person who won't, when they think we're a girl, won't talk to us. But when they think we're a boy, will listen to what we have to say about the girl who likes him. It's like when you transition and people think of you differently. In and outside of like people being transphobic, there are people who will look at you as like, okay, so this is a story I usually tell of like the time that I first noticed the cognitive change in someone when they were considering me when I came out to them, where before I was a boy to them, and then I came out and then I was a girl, and I knew that they accepted me, but it still felt weird, and that the symbol of their respecting my gender or seeing me as a girl and not a boy. And I was hiding I was non-binary because at that point I didn't expect anyone other than other non-binary people to respect my non-binariness. I got head pats, and I love head pats, I'm not gonna lie. But I was just like, Should I have a problem with being infantilized the first time the first thing that happens when I tell someone that I'm not a boy is they give me head pats? It was like, do you give head pats to your friends that are girls? Or that you think are girls? Is that a thing? That was my first thought. I was like, wait, do girls just go around giving each other head pats at sleepovers? It broke my fucking brain, honestly. It's still very amusing to me. And it's like one of those things where it's like, that's such a stereotype, but also, and I don't mind being touched by the people that I care about. I don't necessarily want to say I give blanket permission to like all my friends to give me head pats necessarily, but I'm definitely more positive to it than negative to it. So like, even before I had transitioned in any way, it was just like, head pats? Yes. So like, as opposed to some other people, it would have been very upsetting and like even maybe a little dehumanizing. For me, it was just like, it was like an intersection of like recognizing a sort of like infantilization / dehumanization like aspect to it, but also being like, this is a way that someone's trying to communicate to me that they like understand me and like see me as I see myself, or as they understand me seeing myself. Because not everyone's gonna be perfect. Like the guy in the dorm who recognized that like calling me man or boy wasn't exactly maybe what I wanted, but that he was trying to like, he was trying to give good vibes. It's like when a cis person is well-meaning but they don't hit the mark exactly. I don't think that all cis people should be punished for that. Of course, this thing is a little bit different because when this person thinks I'm a girl, they're like, oh, I hate wearing skirts, talking about the restrictive notions of gender. Whether or not this person will be cis all their life doesn't even matter. Trans liberation means that everyone will be more free to express themselves, regardless of gender. So that's a thing. Gone violent, gone sexual, call cops. I'm doing okay. I'm playing some Minecraft with partner. Nice. What kind of Minecraft? Vanilla Minecraft? Gaze into the mirror. Whee! What? No, I'm not joking. Of course I want to date him. Why? Does he like me back? He does! Oh man, could you ask him out for me? Oh, I'm so excited. Can't even bear it. I could have a boyfriend. It could be Lewis. You'll get in trouble for going in there. And back across. It's not a joke. She wants to date me. Yes, that's so great. I can't believe I'm gonna have a girlfriend. Thank you so much for helping us out. Yeah, and that girl who was helping us too. Where's she going anyway? Well, if you see her, could you give her this Apocryphauna card as a way of saying thank you? I got something better to do than play games right now. What do you... Oh, I see. Neat. Crush! Monstrous Modus Carnus. Whenever Crush deals damage to an opponent, they must admit whether or not they have a crush on you. That's cute. Hope you're taking good care of my old card. Remember to keep it sleeved if you're playing with strangers. I still need 3 more cards to have a full collection. Chalk, just what I needed. A gay is falling into the mirror. Gay is in your mirror area. Oh wait, let me shift back so they recognize me. I actually forgot which bathroom I'm supposed to go in. Truly authentic trans experience. I go in the gender neutral restroom that is my pants. All done? Good. See how much nicer things are when you do as you're told. I wonder if there's any other like side questy things. That she's a broken record. $15 still isn't a real collection. I think I'll need at least 2 more because I'm assuming her card will be the last one. I think I'll talk to everyone in the stairwell. Maybe I'll talk to that other person one more time. Okay, this is the same. I can't tell him what happened. Which is a little sad. It's funny, I could like go to the finale of the game anytime now. I'm vibing. Chalk? Yum. Okay, Susie. Yo, this has music with lyrics? The front entrance. I'm not allowed to leave campus without permission. I heard from my big bro that if you play Apocryphauna, you need to have something called a tricks deck. No idea what that means though. I know this place might seem a bit uptight at first, but trust me, a little structure is the right thing for someone your age, or any age. Too much freedom and you start getting ideas. Good old cult vibes. Crusaders of the one god always finish their vegetables. Checks every trash can. What's this? Candles. I don't think the one guy will mind if a few of these go missing. I was actually surprised there was none like on the seats or whatever. Thank you so much for getting that card out of there. One more strike and I would have been in serious trouble. You can keep the card, by the way. I don't even know how to play. I do remember in middle school I literally was around a bunch of people who did not know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I started not knowing how to play because I think also made the mistake of buying booster packs and not structure deck, because if you only buy booster packs you won't get a rule book. Here's Sister Handria hides drugs in her Unifix. Equipment locker. Everything is back where it belongs. I think there's at least one card that I got last time that I have not gotten this time yet. What's this? Professor Oak is brought out when there is need for extra discipline. Fucking Christ. That's like a Maiden Abyss level spanking. Shit. Congrats, you got it. Now just follow the instructions in the book and in the world. Sooner rather than later, if you don't mind. There's literally a doorknob here. But I can't let you out. Can't fix all the injustices of the world, it seems. The only thing I can think to do is go back across and see if there's any changes to how people talk to me. Wait, wrong floor. Because I've definitely talked to every NPC that I can talk to right now. Fuck. This one, right? Okay, yeah. I think there was a couch in the women's restroom was the first time I, like, really saw some, like a material signifier of something that would have gender envy for. It's actually more of an old school thing for there to be couches and bathrooms, but certain places still have couches and bathrooms. I had to clean a bathroom at a place I worked as a kid, and it was just like, but why did they get a couch? I want to rest. Nah, just rest and piss. Hey, is that my old card? The one I threw away? Huh. Looks pretty good considering it's been in the trash. Yeah, another new kid. Have you met the other one? She's a girl who kinda looks like you. Hey, nothing new, nothing new. On this floor. Sometimes I don't know why I do the things I do. If I'm not mistaken, a cutscene immediately happens, or an event immediately happens when I go back to the roof, because I have all the stuff now. Hey, whoever floats your boat, friendo. Really like the you can just peer into the soul, you know it's the same person. Vibes, very vibes. Whoa, are you? No, I guess not. Sorry, I thought you were someone else. I wonder if I can get back there. I mean, it's like literally a door. I mean, I probably can't, but it's cool to dream. I don't recognize you. Do you go here? Well, Aquarius? Nope, nothing different. Damn, that sure is tricky getting the last few cards. You know, I thought someone would have hid it in one of the Apocryphauna books. Oh. Alright, let's start the end of the world. Damn, I really want to find the last cards. I also don't want to look it up. I've been thinking a lot about, like, how guys diminish the discovery from games and how, like, as a streamer, I've been dead set on, like, being games in a certain amount of time and stuff. Like, sometimes pigeonholes me into having less fun because I feel like I have to rush. Huh? What? What's this? I found a card. That's actually the last card I've ever found. Or the last card I'm familiar with. So literally I just need one more. Now I'm just like, what if I keep looking though? What if one will appear in the other dorm bathroom if I switch again? Now that's some static gender. Or sorry, that's not a static gender, that's a very fluid gender. Your gender ever glitch out a little bit? I feel that. Joke's on them, I'm into being spanked. Damn. Please don't tell I can't get in trouble for this again. Gosh, makes me think of Turning Red. People legit had a problem with the idea of a like teenage girl drawing like horny art and like having sexual interest in boys. And of course just like the existence of periods and talking about it in a movie. And making it not something like to be ashamed about, or like recognizing that a lot of people have shame about it, but that it's like a normal thing. Gosh, I love Turning Red. The movie. Although I guess blushing isn't that bad. Sometimes blushing is nice. Maybe I should check one of those classrooms again. Oh, so maybe someone's looking inside a poster. There's so many different ways it could be. Or places it could be. Oh, there's a Librarius I haven't read. I see a Librarius with a bookmark poking out of it. Opening the book to that page, it looks like someone was in the middle of reading the book of Mega Drive. Like the Sony Mega Drive? Well, the Sega Mega Drive? Hierophant! That's literally a tarot card. Monstrous Uncanny Duous. When you summon Hierophant, will that bring you happiness? Will you forget the truth for just a fleeting moment? Hey! It's the embodiment of escapism. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna be starting at HRT soon. Yo, congratulations! That fucks. Welcome to the next level of self-affirmment. Speaking to the void. Trying to fucking something that no girl is gonna have control over. Just like any kid, it just really fucks up people really badly. Fucked me up pretty hard. Yeah. And that pain doesn't make us stronger. But it makes us understand the depth of cruelty that the world and people sometimes have. And sometimes it can give us a better sense of empathy. Or at the very least of knowing what's at stake. For your young people and our direct peers. Hey, that new kid collects Apocryphauna cards, right? You know, I design and draw my own custom Apocryphauna cards. I can make one for you if you want. But first, I need to make sure you're serious. I don't want to waste my time making a true one-of-a-kind masterpiece for some filthy casual. How many cards do you have so far? 17? Hey, that's not bad at all. There's just one thing that's missing. And that's a card for me. Let's see. You seem like the type that would be into something like this. How dare you call me out like that? Plant beings are the best. You cannot kill me in any way that matters. Cryptic Saffronite. Sapurinite. Sorry, that was a slip. That was a Floridian slip. Uncanny Fungus. 3/5/5. So can't be summoned until turn 4. 5 health. I don't know what the horns symbol indicates. I'm assuming the triangle is the attack. But since the horns isn't a shield, I don't assume that's defense. It's like 3 attack, 5 toughness, 5 something else. If you speak the name of this card, you lose the game. Well, good thing I wasn't playing the game when I read it. I hope you like my card. Now your collection is complete. Alright. Yeah. Might as well gaze into the mirror. This fits a little bit better for my character. Let's go make a difference. Fuck, he's me. Fuck, he's just like me for real. It denied me the joy of masturbation during my teens, and also just a release from all the stress and pent-up feelings. Also, it kind of made me feel exhausted from over-sexuality, like horny people online not knowing good boundaries. Yeah, it's a like the pendulum swings back and forth, like over-sexualization and then like infantilization and being seen as like it being bad to like have sexuality at all, or like have sexual interests and stuff like that, or it being seen as a bad thing that you're supposed to hide or feel shame from. Like, yeah. It read your screen, lol. I'm a Fennec Fox plant hybrid. This is offensive. Plant people rise up. All right. Oh, wrong button. What is this? Can it be? Yes. I exist. Not much strength, but I should at least be able to do this! Yeah. Thank you, young one. You're Discordia! Yes. Does this form displease you? I could take another if you wish. What else can you look like? How's this? 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 What else can you look like? You gonna look like a taco? How's this? What else can you look like? Oh my god. I love how there wasn't a, they didn't have a boy version of the last one. Sorry, I'm a little bit of a degenerate. I like the Big Daddy Demon. I mean, like, every form had its perks. Even the taco, honestly. How's this? Yeah, that looks good. Very well. I must thank you for setting me free. No, I suppose that's not quite the right way to put it. I don't think I was trapped. I think perhaps I didn't exist at all before. Certainly not to the degree that I do now. What I was before, I think, more of an aspect of you. Now I'm separate. Now I'm myself once more, or perhaps for the first time. Sorry, I can't be certain of how much is real and how much is stories. How much I actually did versus how much they say I did. Why did someone make a card game about you? Why does anyone make anything? To experience something? To express something? To prove that they can. I'm guessing some game company wanted to get in on this new collectible card game trend, and we spooky mythological beings tested well with their target demographic. Sort of a countercultural thing, you know, in the wake of the chaotic panic. Also, I'm in the public domain. For me, the more interesting question is this. Why did you collect the cards? Could you even explain it? And would these words be truth or just a rationalization? Perhaps there is no deeper why, except to say that it scratched some itch in a dark corner of your mind. A place there's no word for. That you don't even know existed before. Who can say why some feel more kinship with monsters than with heroes? Sometimes I wonder if the world is even real. Is this really happening right now? Yes. Reality often feels unreal. Not like stories or games. There, everything has a purpose. Everything is designed. When I last walked the earth, they said it was my realm. The unseen, perfect heavens belonged to him, and the flawed material plane was mine. A world of chaos, violence, and desire. Now this has changed. He rules this world unchallenged. His icon in every home and school. And I am the unseen. My world is stories, games, fantasy. You've chosen to play the game of the many, a game called Apocryphauna. But where does the game end and the real begin? Your mind could not comprehend the answer, even if I told you the truth. Trust me, there's no gold at the end of this rainbow. My advice, sit back and admire its beauty. That's what rainbows are for. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to go with exactly what I asked last time versus what I asked this time. I'll save the other ones for another playthrough, or, you know, to encourage other people to play and ask you the questions you want. Or ask him the questions you want, or ask them the questions you want. Are you seeing anyone? You're a little young for me, maybe we'll talk in a few millennia. And for the record, even if you were also a timeless incarnation of chaos, I will be absolutely no good for you. I'm a shit partner, selfish in every sense of the word. You like the idea of me, the manic demon dream god. I'm gonna do you a favor and let you keep that version of me in your head. Now, go hold hands with a fellow teen somewhere. Are you gonna end the world? That's what they say about me, isn't it? That summoning me would be the end of all things. That's not true. Not exactly. I don't want the world to end. I want the world to begin. We're trapped, frozen in ice, a wall between us and true existence. Not just a Apocryphauna like myself, but you too, humanity. You are in a prison. You don't even see it, because you think it is the world. I want to free you from those walls, to return you to the wilderness, even if blood must be spilled to get there. But now, even that is beyond me, for I am not what I was. None of us are. I am not the Discordia that was. I am a character in a game. Me, and the rest of the many, because the war is over. He is won. And he has won. He is God, and we are nothing but t-shirts and keychains. Perhaps once these cards could summon me, the true me, but now, they can only summon this. Some pervert's drawing of a sexy demon. Not that there is anything wrong with perverts drawing sexy demons. But it won't break the chains that bind us, as much as we pretend to fight. We only live in dreams, while reality belongs to them. I'm sorry. Thank you. Me too. Could you just sit with me for a while then and look at the stars? That I can do. Thanks for playing. And that was a Apocryphauna. Very touching. Also, I love that it's like, I love that she ended up being like a tulpa, essentially. I was like, oh shit, I made a original sin headmate. Epic. But yeah, there's a lot there that I loved. I like that it's like, well, I feel like it's a message to like trans kids to like basically to persevere, because like, and we had this experience too of like knowing that we couldn't be out when we were growing up, shoving ourselves back into the closet even internally, constantly going through cycles of like coming out to ourselves and then shoving ourselves back in the closet with general queerness, not specifically transness because we didn't have those words, but like knowing that like our safety depended on it. And with stuff that's happening right now and how unsafe it is to be trans, especially if you're younger, to the point where people who affirm you could go to jail in some states, like for some people it's gonna be safer to stay in the closet. And like, of course, people have talked about how like, you know, in a couple of years we'll see a wave of people be like, oh, my kid won't talk to me anymore, and it'll be like, yeah, you abuse them. And not just in terms of trans stuff either, but yeah, that happens a lot, with like ableist parents, homophobic parents, like a lot of people who are like, well, you're under my thumb and you have to rely on me, so I'll get whatever I want out of you. Those people not having any connection with those people when they grow older and they can like escape their thumb or whatever, like people have even mentioned in chat today. And that's not like the answer I want to hear. And when I was younger, like I hated like the It Gets Better campaign, and like that sense of like, oh, it definitely will, and life is definitely worth living, and like despite all the shitty things in the world, I am happy to be out and trying to my best, and like to be still transitioning, or you know, back to physically transitioning since I couldn't for a while. I feel really fortunate that I get to live the life that I do, even though there's a lot that isn't great. And my life is definitely better than it was when I was a kid, that's for sure. But just because it got better for me doesn't mean it got better for everyone. It didn't get better for Eden, that's for sure. Um, and there are a lot of people that won't get to see it get better. And I think that was part of the point of that campaign of being like, you can't see it get better if you stop being here. And I do think that message is valuable, but I like the more nuance of it can get better as opposed to it will get better. Because people are going to face a lot of tragedies in their life and have a lot of hardships. And it can feel a little bit hollow to be told it gets better. And then time passing and like your life not getting better. It's rough. I think that as a trans adult, it's inspiring. It's this game like, you know, makes me recognize things that like it took a long time for me to like draw like links between the dots before when I was growing up, and like I see very much more clearly now. Stuff like the satanic panic is wrapped up in queerphobia, homophobia, and other phobias as well. I mean, like, it's not lost on me that like uh in me conceptualizing what happened as like, oh, I made a tulpa. Uh, there are people with headmates, um, even of a non like quote unquote demonic origin variety that will have been considered in the past and even considered now in certain circles, especially religious circles, to like be like mentally ill in a dysfunctional way, um, and or especially being like possessed by a demon and needing to be exorcised. So that's not lost on me. And it's not lost on me how like there's a moment at the end of this game where it's like, oh, we can just watch the stars together and just like just a moment of peace while in hell, which is what a lot of us are experiencing right now. Like just wanting moments of peace when there's so much we have to face. Or maybe you're one of the people who can like find yourself in escapism more often than not. And that's an experience for sure. When you feel like all you can do is run away from everything. And recently I felt pretty powerless myself in a lot of ways. So I definitely not gonna add superior in that way just because I like don't escape as much or like engage in escapism that like engages with like the things I'm worried about a lot more often than not. Uh, because I think that escapism is valuable. I think stories are valuable. I think stories like keep us going, give us context for things, and are like really important. Um, but it also does suck. This like, okay, this kid that I'm playing as, after looking at the stars, has to go back to all that shitty things. The other trans kid is still locked in that basement. It's a time that they have to get through, and they'll probably be trying to make sense of it for the rest of their life to some degree. But just because you don't get to see that the game isn't like longer and it's like you trying to make it through the school to like get out so you can have more freedom or something, which would be a much bigger project. It's like, despite knowing what the next step would probably look like if the story continues on, I do appreciate what's there, and I think that it's a beautiful piece of art and probably one of my favorite things I've played all year. Being baby is my escape. That's understandable. I I'm a latchkey little, so like my little space isn't always like big diaper no thoughts. So like baby isn't always an escape for me. Sometimes it is. But oftentimes it's like this weird balance. I appreciate like middle and little space and also like making me more flexible, not just in the way of like making me just giggling and happy and stuff like that. Not that that's not valuable, because it's certainly valuable to me. But I'm also little in public. This, I mean. So like there's also that to go around with. Theory: Chibi has Discordia is what they look like in the cartoon. Oh, that'd be funny. It seems that you've chosen Invader Zim Discordia. Taco Discordia gets bored. Everyone has so many opinions about all the different Discordias. Yay. The Taco and MB are my faves. God is dead and we have killed him. So wouldn't it be fair as a killer of God to make up the mantle to quote from some German philosopher I can't remember the name of? I'm pretty sure it's Friedrich Nietzsche actually. God is dead and we have killed them. We are the murderer of all murderers. What can we do to atone? What sports or games will we have to invent and play just to justify the act of doing such? Paraphrasing, but that's essentially the quote. We quoted it in an essay this year, actually. I wish I could come out to our home and go live our true selves outside. I hope you can one day. It can get better. And I believe in you. Yeah, not being able to be myself openly in multiple ways is rough. I'm sure others have it even rougher when there shouldn't be that limitation, but there is. Thank you for your wisdom and things of knowledge about the struggles with trans people. It's supportive. You're welcome. I want to be the positive force that sometimes people don't see, especially in the spaces that sometimes there's a lot of bitterness and difficulty with juggling both things. I mean, shit, even sans the like baby furnace, like even as a gamer, like talking about stuff like this as often as we do and caring about it and centering some of the conversations that we have about it is certainly like against the grain for a lot of streamers in the sense that like some people want their streams to just be an escape. And I think there's a place for that. I think that's valid. But I like mixing up those feelings of oh man this is cool and oh I'm having fun and oh well with like thinking philosophically and deeply about stuff too, when all you can do is run away from everything. Yeah, sometimes you're Shinji. I feel really seen. Gosh, it's exhausting surviving while I can't do much. Latchkey littles rise up. I haven't heard that term before. Oh, I made it up. I took it from like, well, the concept of a latchkey kid, which started during I believe it was supposed to be like around World War II. When there were less parents in like North America because like big draft and stuff, and how that meant that a lot more kids were burdened with taking care of their younger siblings, or given a key to the latch of their home to get in when they got home from school to an empty house, or at least a house without parents. That's where latchkey comes from, or latchkey kid comes from, and I basically appropriate that into the term I made up, latchkey little, as in a little with like a sense of responsibility, slash someone whose little space isn't chiefly escapism. My greatest example is like doing your taxes while in little space. The like folks who would be more comfortable doing that than like being outside of little space, because some people would be like that would be ruining it. Like I'm very much someone who would rather be doing like adulting, quote unquote, while in little space. And I think that there's a lot of reasons for that, though one of my favorite is the pride I get for being like, oh, I'm only this many years old, but like I like got groceries, that sort of thing. like a pride in being able to do something that like adults are expected to do, which can be really nice when you don't feel like an adult all the time. Like I also experience age sliding and stuff, so I don't always have control over if I feel quote unquote little or not. To be honest, I want to beat the shit out of those nuns. See how they like it, and I know that's messed up, but I don't care. I mean, being retaliatory against oppressors, that makes sense. I mean, like saying something like punching Nazis in Minecraft is like totally valid. Like wanting to kick cops in the nuts in Apocryphauna or Bomber Cyberpunk. Yeah, that's a good one. Wanting to kick cops in the nuts in Bomber Cyberpunk is totally valid. And like the desire to inflict pain on oppressors, like how could you not want to do that, you know? I don't think it's that messed up. I mean, obviously, like there's that sense of like, oh, like violence won't solve everything, and like violence won't solve everything. It'll solve some shit though. I think ideally I like to be that way, but currently my brain locks that side of me away when I don't have a good outlet for it because I don't easily express it. When I can't easily express it, I get down. That's valid. Not everyone can can naturally be like latchkey little. And it can be difficult. And I definitely um feel that like when I discovered like being little and fully accepted it was at a time where like I couldn't like take a lot of time off to be little. So it was also very adaptive for me to develop latchkey littleness because it was a way where I could like cope with having to do adult stuff while still wanting to be little but not having that much free time or enough space to like truly be it, you know? Or be it to the degree that I wanted to. Something I think is messed up is hanging cop is a felony and police brutality is just a misdemeanor. They should both be felonies. I mean, most police brutality isn't even like brought up as charges. Shit, even just getting dock pay is I should say getting dock pay or shit getting like essentially vacation time, like time off with pay, is actually a lot more common. It's it tends to be a lot of the more high profile cases that get a lot of news coverage, where police departments are pressured, or getting external pressure instead of just internal pressure, which usually isn't very much because uh, usually when an industry is regulating itself, there's not a lot of oversight, and policing is kind of like a fraternity. Like it's very much like even when someone does something bad, it's like they go in lockstep and like protect each other. And of course, there's the concept of the blue wall of silence, the thing that cops, the fact that cops generally won't testify against each other, or if they do, literally there is a history of and like still current thingy about how like if a cop does want to bring attention to a peer that is doing bad shit, they will literally be like blacklisted. There was one cop that I read about who was trying to report a partner who was like doing hate crime and like profiling of like very young like black kids, like I'm talking like 12 or something ridiculous. And she was fired, blacklisted, and she couldn't get a job and had to go on public assistance and eventually became a truck driver. The best thing a cop can do is quit. So I mean, sucks that happened, but at least she's out of the industry. I also have a lot of issues with rejection that makes it hard to be honest or open about both being trans or little with people I love to share it with. I mean, shit, that's understandable. I certainly I certainly get how you have to be careful. You can like lose friends because of both of those things. Um, and it makes sense that you'd want to protect yourself. Shit, that's part of the reason why the stream exists, to have a space for the intersectionality. Although I would say on average, as opposed to like other spaces, queer spaces and trans spaces are generally more accepting of littleness than other spaces. Okay, it's still nighttime, or it's still night out. I'm switching. I'm switching categories. But I'm gonna go on a short break because I'm probably gonna play it through. The game I'm gonna play. So I just wanna be sure I'm good. I'm probably gonna drink some more coffee and whatnot. Depending on how long the game is, it's probably not gonna be a super long stream. I might play one other game after, but I might not. We'll have to see.